What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses walks onto a talk show set, only to find herself trapped in a nightmare fueled by jealousy, condescension, and unchecked ego? In just 49 seconds, a single dismissive comment from host Denise Welch would ignite a firestorm that would expose the toxic underbelly of daytime television and send shockwaves through the entire industry. Kate Winslet arrived at the Loose Women studio that morning with nothing but good intentions. She was there to promote her latest film, a passion project she had spent years bringing to life. The Oscar-winning actress had always been known for her warmth, her authenticity, and her genuine love for the craft of acting. She greeted the crew with smiles, took photos with excited staff members, and settled into the green room with her usual grace. But from the moment she stepped onto that stage, something felt off. Denise Welch, sitting at the head of the panel alongside Ruth Langsford, Colleen Nolan, and Janet Street Porter, had a look in her eyes that Kate had seen before. It was the look of someone who had already decided this conversation was going to go a certain way, regardless of what the guest wanted to discuss. The audience applauded as Kate took her seat, waving graciously. Denise leaned forward, a tight smile on her face. "So Kate, lovely to have you here," Denise began, her tone dripping with false sweetness. "We were all so surprised when we heard you were coming on. I mean, you do not usually do shows like ours, do you? You know, the ones for regular people." The studio fell silent. Ruth shifted uncomfortably in her seat, and Kate's smile faltered for just a moment before she composed herself. "I love doing all kinds of shows," Kate replied, her voice steady. "I think it is important to connect with audiences everywhere, and I have always admired how Loose Women creates conversations that matter to people." "How diplomatic," Denise said, raising an eyebrow. "But let us be honest. You are here because you need to sell your movie, right? I mean, that is what these things are really about. You lot come on, pretend to care about what we have to say, plug your film, and then you are off to the next thing." Janet Street Porter let out an awkward laugh. Colleen looked down at her notes, clearly uncomfortable. Ruth tried to intervene. "Denise, I think what Kate is saying is that she genuinely enjoys," Ruth started, but Denise cut her off. "Ruth, I have got this," Denise snapped, not even looking at her co-host. She turned back to Kate. "So tell us about this film of yours. Is it one of those artsy ones that nobody actually watches, but everyone pretends to love so they sound intelligent?" The audience gasped. Kate took a deep breath, maintaining her composure with the skill of someone who had handled difficult press for decades. "It is actually a very accessible film," Kate said calmly. "It tells the story of a woman who overcomes incredible odds to—" "Oh, another strong woman's story," Denise interrupted, rolling her eyes. "How original. Let me guess. She is oppressed. She fights back. She wins. We have seen it a million times, Kate. Do you ever get tired of playing the same character over and over?" Colleen finally spoke up. "Denise, that is a bit harsh. Kate has an incredible range as an actress. We all know that." "I am just being honest, Colleen," Denise shot back. "That is what we do on this show, is it not? We tell the truth. And the truth is, I am tired of Hollywood actresses coming on here acting like they are doing us a favor. Like they are so much better than us." Kate's jaw tightened. "I have never once acted like I am better than anyone. I came here today with nothing but respect for you and for your viewers." "Really?" Denise leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms. "Because I remember a few years ago when we invited you on and you turned us down, said you were too busy. But you had time for Graham Norton, did you not? You had time for all the fancy chat shows, just not for us." "I had scheduling conflicts," Kate explained, her voice still measured. "My publicist handles my schedule, and sometimes things just do not work out. It was nothing personal." "Nothing personal," Denise repeated mockingly. "That is rich. You know what I think, Kate? I think you look down on shows like this. I think you are too good for daytime television, too good for the women who watch it, Too good for us. Ruth tried again. Denise, please. This is getting out of hand. Stay out of this, Ruth, Denise barked. The other panelists exchanged worried glances. The producers in the control room were frantically discussing whether to cut to commercial. Kate remained remarkably calm. Denise, I understand that you may have some feelings about this, but I assure you, I have the utmost respect for your show and your audience. I would not be here otherwise. Oh, save it, Denise spat. You are only here because your movie needs the exposure. You are using us, just like all of you Hollywood types do. You swoop in, flash your perfect smile, say all the right things, and then you disappear back to your mansion and forget we even exist. Janet shifted in her seat. Denise, I think we should maybe talk about something else. Kate, tell us about working with... No, Janet, I want to finish this, Denise insisted. She pointed a finger at Kate. You know what your problem is? You have had everything handed to you. You got famous young. You won your little awards. Everyone worships you. But you have never had to work a real day in your life. You have never had to struggle like the rest of us. Something in Kate's expression changed. The calm facade began to crack, not with anger, but with genuine hurt. You do not know anything about my life, Kate said quietly. You do not know what I have been through, what I have sacrificed, what I have overcome. I have worked incredibly hard to get where I am, and I have never, ever taken it for granted. Oh, please, Denise scoffed. Spare me the sob story. You live in a bubble, Kate. You have people who do everything for you. You probably have not even made your own cup of tea in 20 years. Colleen had heard enough. Denise, this is ridiculous. You are being incredibly rude to our guest. Kate has been nothing but gracious, and you are attacking her for no reason. I have plenty of reasons, Denise shot back. I am sick of celebrities thinking they can just waltz onto our show and expect us to bow down to them. This is our show, our panel, our rules. If Kate does not like how I run things, she knows where the door is. The audience was completely silent now, watching the train wreck unfold in real time. Ruth looked like she wanted to crawl under the table. Janet sat, frozen, her eyes wide. Kate took a moment to collect herself. When she spoke again, her voice was clear and dignified. I came here today to have a conversation, Kate said. I came here to talk about a project I am passionate about, to connect with people who might enjoy it. I did not come here to be insulted, to be told that my life's work means nothing, or to be treated with such blatant disrespect. Well, then maybe you should have thought about that before you turned your nose up at us for years, Denise retorted. I never turned my nose up at anyone. Kate's voice rose slightly, the first crack in her composure. I have scheduling conflicts. Sadi, like every working person does. That does not mean I look down on anyone. But you, Denise, you have made it clear from the moment I sat down that you have already judged me, already decided who I am without knowing me at all. I know exactly who you are, Denise said coldly. You are a spoiled actress who lives in a fantasy world and has no idea what real life is like. Ruth stood up. Okay, that is enough. Denise, you need to stop. This has gone way too far. Sit down, Ruth, Denise commanded. I am not finished. Actually, you are, Ruth said firmly. This is not what our show is about. We are supposed to be having a conversation, not launching a personal attack. Denise turned on Ruth. Who do you think you are, telling me how to run my segment? I have been on this show longer than you have. I know what I am doing. Your segment? Janet interjected. This is all of our show, Denise. We are a panel. We are supposed to work together, not tear each other, and definitely not our guests apart. Oh, so now you are all ganging up on me? Denise's voice grew louder. You are taking her side over mine? She is a stranger who will be gone in 10 minutes, and I am your colleague. There are no sides, Denise, Colleen said gently. We are just trying to salvage this interview. Kate has done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong, Denise laughed bitterly. She has sat there with that smug look on her face, acting like she is better than all of us, and you cannot even see it. Kate finally had enough. She stood up slowly, removing her microphone with steady hands. I do not have a smug look on my face, Denise, Kate said, her voice shaking slightly but her words clear. I have the look of someone who is deeply disappointed. I have been in this industry for over 30 years. I have sat through countless interviews, some wonderful, some challenging. But I have never, ever been treated with such outright hostility for absolutely no reason. Then leave, Denise shouted, standing up as well. If you cannot handle a little honest conversation, then get out. This is not an honest conversation, Kate replied, placing her microphone on the table. This is a witch hunt. This is you projecting your own insecurities onto me. I do not know what I did to make you dislike me so much, but I refuse to sit here and be your punching bag. You did not do anything, Denise screamed. That's the point. You exist in your perfect little world, while the rest of us have to scratch and claw for everything we have. You get handed opportunities on a silver platter, and then you have the nerve to act humble about it. The studio erupted. Audience members were murmuring, some calling out in support of Kate. The other panelists were on their feet now, trying to calm the situation. Denise, you need to calm down, Ruth said firmly. This is completely unprofessional. Do not tell me to calm down, Denise yelled at Ruth. You all treat me like I am the problem, like I am the one who is out of line, when all I am doing is speaking the truth that nobody else has the guts to say. Kate stood there, watching the scene unfold with a mixture of sadness and disbelief. When she spoke, her voice cut through the chaos. The truth, Denise, is that you are bitter, Kate said quietly. You are angry at a world that you think has not given you what you deserve, and you are taking it out on me. But I am not your enemy. I have never been your enemy. I am just a person who came here to do her job, just like you are supposed to be doing yours. How dare you, Denise hissed. How dare you psychoanalyze me? You do not know me. You do not know anything about my life. You are right, Kate agreed. I do not know you. But you do not know me either. Yet you have spent the last several minutes telling me exactly who I am, what I think, how I live my life. You have made assumptions, cruel assumptions, based on nothing but your own prejudices. A producer finally rushed onto the set, whispering urgently to Denise. She shook him off. Get away from me, Denise snapped at the producer. And she turned back to Kate. You want to know what my prejudice is? My prejudice is against people who have had everything handed to them and then act like they earned it through hard work alone. My prejudice is against celebrities who pretend to be relatable when they live in a completely different universe than the rest of us. I have earned everything I have, Kate said, her voice breaking slightly. Every single role, every opportunity, every moment of success. I have worked 16-hour days. I have been away from my family for months at a time. I have pushed myself physically and emotionally in ways you cannot even imagine. And yes, I have been fortunate. I have been lucky. But do not you dare stand there and tell me I have not worked for it. Colleen had tears in her eyes. Kate, you do not have to justify yourself. Denise is completely out of line. Oh, shut up, Colleen, Denise spat. Always the peacemaker, always trying to make everyone feel better. Well, I am tired of pretending. I am tired of smiling and nodding while we parade these celebrities through here, like they are doing us some grand favor. The producer was now joined by two others, all trying to get control of the situation. One of them approached Denise directly. Denise, we need to go to commercial. Now, the producer said urgently. We are not going to commercial, Denise shouted. This is live television. This is what people want to see. Real, unfiltered conversation. This is not a conversation, Denise, Janet said, standing up. This is a meltdown. You are having a complete meltdown on live television, and you are taking Kate down with you. Kate gathered her belongings. her hands shaking slightly. She looked at each of the other panelists with genuine warmth. Ruth, Colleen, Janet, thank you for trying, Kate said softly. I appreciate your efforts to make this civil. I am sorry it did not work out. She turned to Denise one last time. Denise, I genuinely hope you find whatever it is you are looking for, Kate said. Whatever is making you this angry, this resentful, I hope you find a way to work through it. Because this, what you are doing right now, it is not healthy, it is not kind, and it is certainly not the truth you claim it to be. Get out, Denise screamed, her face red. Get out of here. We do not need you. We never needed you. Kate walked off the set with her head held high, the audience erupting in supportive applause. Behind her, chaos reigned. Denise was still shouting. The producers were scrambling, and the other panelists sat in stunned silence. As Kate disappeared backstage, she could hear Denise still ranting. This is exactly what I am talking about, Denise yelled to the remaining panel. She could not handle a real conversation, so she ran away. Just like all of them do. Denise, Ruth said, her voice ice cold. That was not a real conversation. That was a verbal assault. Kate showed incredible restraint by staying as long as she did. If anyone should be leaving this set, it is you. The head producer finally made it to the panel desk. Denise, you need to leave the set. Now, he said firmly. Excuse me? Denise looked at him in disbelief. You are kicking me off my own show? It is not your show, Denise, the producer said. It is a panel show, and you just destroyed any credibility it had. Please, leave the set. You cannot do this to me, Denise protested. I have been on this show for years. I bring in viewers. I make this show interesting. What you just did was not interesting, Janet said quietly. It was cruel. Denise looked around at her co-panelists, at the audience, at the crew. For a moment, something flickered across her face. Doubt, perhaps, or the first hint of realization about what she had just done. But it passed quickly, replaced by defiance. Fine, Denise said, ripping off her microphone. Fine. If you all want to worship at the altar of celebrity, if you all want to pretend that people like Kate Winslet care about people like us, then you can have this show. I do not need it. She stormed off the set, leaving Ruth, Colleen, and Janet sitting in stunned silence. The audience did not know whether to applaud or remain quiet. The producers signaled frantically to cut to commercial. Backstage, Kate sat in the green room, still shaking slightly from the encounter. A member of the production team approached her cautiously. Miss Winslet, we are so sorry, the young woman said. That should never have happened. We had no idea Denise was going to. It is all right, Kate said, though her voice was tight. These things happen. They really do not, the production assistant insisted. In all my years working on this show, I have never seen anything like that. Denise has been difficult before, but this was something else entirely. Kate took a deep breath, composing herself. She thought about all the interviews she had done, all the difficult questions she had answered with grace, all the time she had been professional, even when she did not want to be. But this was different. This was not a tough interviewer asking hard questions. This was personal. This was an attack based on nothing but assumption and resentment. Back on set, Ruth, Colleen, and Janet tried to salvage what was left of the show. The cameras had cut back to them after the commercial break. Well, Ruth began, her voice strained, that was certainly unexpected. We want to apologize to Kate Winslet and to all of you watching. That was not the conversation we intended to have, and it does not represent the values of this show. Kate is a consummate professional, Colleen added. She handled that situation with more grace than most people would have. She came here with good intentions, and she was treated abominably. What happened today was not about honest conversation, Janet said firmly. It was about one person's inability to separate their personal issues from their professional responsibilities. Kate did nothing to deserve that treatment, and we are deeply sorry she had to experience it. The three women sat there, visibly shaken, trying to move forward with the show. But the damage was done. The segment that was supposed to be a light, promotional chat about a new film had turned into a cautionary tale about ego, resentment, and the dangers of unchecked hostility. In the green room, Kate finally stood up to leave. She had maintained her composure throughout the ordeal, had responded with dignity and honesty, had refused to stoop to Denise's level. As she walked toward the exit, she paused for a moment. See, looking back at the studio, where just minutes ago she had been under siege. She thought about Denise's accusations, about the bitterness in her voice, about the anger that seemed to consume her. And Kate realized something important. This was never really about her. Denise's outburst was about Denise, about her own frustrations, her own insecurities, her own disappointments. Kate just happened to be the target that day, the convenient scapegoat for years of accumulated resentment. It did not make it hurt any less, but it helped Kate understand that she had done nothing wrong. She had walked onto that set with an open heart and good intentions. What happened after that was not her fault. The audience, who had watched the entire confrontation unfold, would talk about this day for years to come. They would remember how Kate Winslet, one of the most respected actresses in the world, had been treated with inexplicable hostility. They would remember how she had responded with grace under fire. And they would remember how, in the end, dignity had triumphed over bitterness. The moment that started it all, that single dismissive comment from Denise Welch about Kate only doing shows for regular people, had set off a chain reaction that exposed the worst of daytime television. It showed what happens when professional jealousy meets unchecked ego, when resentment is allowed to fester and explode in a public forum. But it also showed something else. It showed the power of composure, the strength of dignity, and the importance of maintaining grace, even in the face of inexplicable cruelty. Kate Winslet had come to Loose Women that day to promote a film. She left having demonstrated something far more valuable. The true measure of a person is not how they act when things are going well, but how they respond when they are under attack.